Before you drive the all-new Nissan Rogue, you gotta ask yourself, how rogue are you gonna go? We talking be one with nature in the desert rogue? Go snowshoeing in Alaska rogue? Or take the long way home just because kind of rogue? Just a question, but with 5 available drive modes, you're sure to find the answer.
Go rogue in the all-new, fiercely reimagined 2021 Nissan Rogue, now with the most standard safety features in its class. See Owner's Manual for important safety information. Auto Pacific segmentation. 2021 Nissan Rogue versus latest in market competitors. Base models compared.
A different future starts with you. That's why GoDaddy does more than help you find a name. You can create, sell, and get found online, so any small business can drive change or build an empire. Because old ideas aren't cutting it anymore. This new year, we need a new generation of thinking. Your way of thinking. So whatever you have in mind that will help make a different future, find everything you need to get started at GoDaddy.com. Because the future isn't decided yet. It's still ours to win. Start different at GoDaddy.com.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net. Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthmacore Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
Here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
It's 2:31. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
Hopefully.
And we are... You would think we would be really excited to talk about what happened in the recent election.
We don't know.
Right? We don't know yet.
Full disclosure, we record a week ahead of time.
Roughly a week ahead, yes. Yeah.
We're keeping we got our confetti guns holstered.
We're a couple of days before Tuesday yet as of recording this, so...
Yes.
Let's just go ahead and say...
Pissed.
Let's just go ahead and say congratulations.
No, I don't want...
At
no!
the risk of
no! It's like a sports team. You never celebrate before the game is over. But yeah, I mean, maybe we're all celebrating in Michigan.
Jinx it. I'm sure we are.
I don't know about North Dakota.
I look forward to purchasing marijuana in the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, no, right?
Legally.
Be a lot of awkward breakups.
I think it's probably going to be about 6 to 12 months.
A lot of awkward breakups with the weed men in Michigan.
Right.
Okay, I'll keep your number. You can call anytime, man. But I think we covered this in the last podcast. Those guys will thrive, well, unless we end up going out, like, because you get into Colorado, there's like some 24-hour, especially too in like Vegas. The dispensary I went to this past time was a 24-hour deal.
Yeah.
So unless those pop up, the weed man will still thrive.
I'm guessing, well,
but
Michigan's still a little conservative on that. Like, we still have a 2:00 cutoff for bars where a lot of states that are more liberally minded about that stay open until 4. And they actually find that, for example, if you go to Chicago or New York, like you have bars that are open until 4:00. Some places, if you go further south, they close at 12. But
it's ridiculous.
What they actually find is that in places where there's a 2:00 cutoff, there's more accidents than there are in places where there's a 4:00 cutoff. Because at what happens from 1:30 to 2, everyone starts loading up because they're going to be kicked out of the bar soon. Mm-hmm. Last call is going to be in like 15 minutes. So you're going to get 2 for each person and maybe do a shot.
And drink them all within the next 15 minutes.
Yes.
You're just drinking like an hour's worth of drinks.
And then get out on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I know you all are drunk here tonight, but I need you to get way more drunk and then get the fuck out of here and get on the road and drive home.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully these people are having designated drivers, using Ubers
you get out
and
of the
Lyfts.
bar at 4 a.m. It's just the bridge to
well, that's what
the morning. A lot easier. You go get some food. Hey, sunrise.
By 4
now we
a.m.
go to church because it's Sunday.
Right. You actually have enough time to space it out and go, sometime after 2 even, just say like, let's drink a couple waters, not feel the rush to be kicked out, to naturally like let the party die out on its own a little bit. Not to say that some people aren't, still going to the after parties and all that. Yeah, right. You didn't even get out until midnight.
Yeah, I'm saying midnight. You were just getting going.
Right.
People who went out at 10 o'clock were early. They were old people. They're suckers. Yeah. The old people show up at 9 p.m.
You're like, the drug dealers don't even show up till 11:30. What's the point?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm imagining, considering how much of this language is about regulating it like alcohol, that we're going to see a lot.
Well, they're already
of
allowed to be open later. It used to be 8 p.m. Now they're allowed to be open to 9 p.m.
The dispensaries are now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm just seeing all these things going into the dispensaries. It's all stuff that I've seen out west in Washington and Oregon and California. It's Michigan. They're getting Michigan. As much as we have bagged on the state of Michigan, they are being proactive. They know what is coming. They are just getting ready. They're just laying all of this groundwork for shit now.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah. I mean,
all four of them. God love them.
It still seems like a preponderance of the stories that I read about this process. It seems like a shit show. But
what's fun? I had to call the office to check on the status of my card
because yours was running late.
Well, yeah, it said if it's been 5 weeks, give us a call. I gave him a call like, hey, it says November 1st. Today's October 29th. Like, yeah. Legally, they can't tell you the status. They're like, we have processed your application and your response is in the mail.
Status? Right. Why would you be denied?
Cool. No, it's they part of the law is they can't tell you over the phone if you got approved or disapproved.
Or anything, or if it's going to be there at a certain time. It's just whatever the guidelines say.
We have processed it, and your response is on the way.
Your response, it makes it sound like, oh yeah, they could just say no for no reason.
Yeah. Well, but what I think is funny is how I joked about all four of them. The person I talked to on the phone was definitely the person who recorded all of the prompts for their automated phone system.
Did you?
I was like, hey, you're that girl that was just talking. It's generally you never talk to that person,
right?
You
like start pushing buttons on your phone. Like
she's like, no, I'm here,
sir, no, yeah. sir. Oh shit, I'm stuck in a loop.
And it showed up right on the day that it expired. Because when I went to the dispensary the other day, they're looking at me and they're like, you better stock up. I'm like, hey man, I'm with you. Yeah, right on the day. And then two, I get a little email that tells me what you get in the mail, a little PDF of your scans of the email. Showed up a day late. It was supposed to show up on Halloween. I go to the mailbox, it's not there. I'm instantly like, oh, some bitch. Some stoner asshole come steal my mail.
It's kind of coincidental that your deadline was the 31st because that was the deadline for a lot of the dispensaries to actually get their license approved by the 3 people that apparently do that job.
Well, she's busy Monday talking to me, so there's only 2.
Let's see. The Oakland Press had a story about this. The Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs for medical marijuana dispensaries to obtain licensing or shut down was October 31st. Every time we've come up to deadlines like this committee has pushed the date out further. Mm-hmm. I guess part of this process is, from what I gather from this NPR story that I heard about it, the reason it's not that it's slow in and of itself. It's that these permits can only get approved in person when the committee is meeting. So the committee meets once a month, and a select number of people with proposed licenses show up and plead their case in person. I guess so they can see if they have any face or neck tattoos. No, actually there was a recent case of First Class Incorporated versus State of Michigan and Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs changed the deadline from the previous December 15th arbitrary and capricious, or to deem it as such, and granted a temporary restraining order on the deadline. That means dispensaries with local approval can continue operations even if they aren't licensed. So
this happened?
Yes. This happened, First Class Incorporated, I guess one of the people that were applying for licenses and probably looking at that deadline and looking at potential loss in business, filed suit. And there's been no ruling on the suit, but there apparently is enough cause here that the judge has decided to halt the process of the licensing approval process, basically.
Damn.
And allowing the dispensaries to operate without a license as long as they have local approval, as long as they're not restricted from operating.
So many people that closed that are probably, what the fuck?
There may be some people that have closed already that are going to be opening up in the meantime. I don't see why not. I don't see that this would cause anyone to go and open up a store real quick. But especially because who knows, it could be a matter of weeks before a definite.
My old spot, there's a for sale sign on it now.
Well,
it's never coming back.
A judge's injunction doesn't just last in perpetuity. Like, there's some decision at some point made in the case, right? And he can decide that, something that the board is doing is illegal or unconstitutional. And the board would then have to reform their process, but they're not going to dissolve completely. There still has to be some regulatory board overseeing this. So this is just halting their actions and saying, which has to be a major relief, though, for a lot of these companies that are looking at this deadline creeping up, like I say, and losing a lot of money and having to shut down. I'm sure, weed's a pretty regular and profitable business. If you can get into it, and unless you're a complete idiot, you're probably going to be successful.
So this judge could be like, hey, guess what's about to happen? We're just going to stop this process.
Even small, even larger businesses than that, you're talking about possible weeks or maybe even months of just no operation. What business can sustain that?
This is a commission that's part of the MMMP, right?
The MMMP,
the Michigan Medical Marijuana. Whoever approves these, right?
Well, no, the Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs is the party specifically named in the suit.
Okay, so yes, Lara is okay. So then, so basically, I think this judge is going, "Hey, you're about to be irrelevant, so we're gonna just put a stop on this whole process because November 6th, you're out of business."
Well, I think that's probably part of the process and the judge's thinking, no doubt, because it's like, what are you really? Why are you being overly restrictive on something that it looks like is going to be completely overturned by the voters anyway, and it doesn't make the process of regulating medical marijuana completely. It doesn't negate it.
On November 7th, this is the Liquor Commission's problem.
Right. Yeah, it would definitely drastically shrink
the only thing that I know, so far the only state I know that actually has done that is Washington. Washington has combined their cannabis and their liquor. Because I used to stay in a hotel that was doing some construction, and they had applied for and received a liquor license, and they had a notice up about it. And it was like the Washington Department of Liquor and Cannabis or something like that. I was like, somebody actually doing it, here you go. Put all the vices in one department.
It only makes sense. I bet you that the only reason that all governments don't do that is because of protests from the customers. The people who distribute liquor in that state and sell liquor. They don't want to be associated with it.
I want weed associated with my product that can be used to drug and rape people.
Right.
So hopefully when this is posted, we're doing a happy dance in Michigan.
Well, for multiple reasons, I'm going to breathe easier on Wednesday, regardless of what the decision is on this upcoming election. So at least it'll be over with. You're a Better Call Saul watcher.
Yeah, yes, but
you got some catching up to do.
We stopped halfway through the season, and we have to finish the other half.
Who's Skell? Was there a guy with one arm that I?
No, when we were watching.
Actor Todd LaTourette, who played Skell on Better Call Saul, a bald guy with a black tank top on and some tattoos. Apparently, he's coming clean after years of pretending to be a wounded veteran who lost his arm overseas. Maybe pull up a picture of this guy and we can get a look at him, because I don't recall meeting this character. There's a picture of Saul shaking hands with the guy with an artificial arm. I'm calling it now. This guy couldn't have been in more than one scene, because there's no way he was some kind of reoccurring character. I've seen every episode.
Skell.
Yeah. Skell. There he is with the kind of goatee and the bald head. Let's see some pictures. That strike you as familiar at all? Yeah, I don't remember seeing this guy. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Apparently he didn't lose his arm in the battle because he didn't serve anywhere. So he came out and confessed that he actually cut it off himself and cauterized it.
Why?
Oh, yeah. Some kind of schizophrenic fit.
Bro, that's a way better story than your Stolen Valor story, by the way.
Well, better story for whom? I mean, doesn't exactly get jobs. The thing about losing the arm was, as a struggling actor, he got jobs because he was unique. If he was getting cast probably what he was. I'm imagining what he was in Better Call Saul as some sort of criminal. And we were to imagine that his arm was shot off in some
can't have
battle.
one arm in your world?
Well, I'm just saying that first of all, he's shaking hands with Saul Goodman in the tracksuit, not what's his name's character? What's his actual name? Jimmy. So yeah, and he has a bald head. He wears black tank top. He has tattoos. Yes, he was the lawyer.
Yeah, but now he's going to have veterans probably whoop his ass in bars.
Well, I think that's why he's trying to get ahead of this now, realizing that like he's lived for years on a lie, and somebody is eventually going to call him out on it.
Stomp that ass.
He's also been in The Men Who Stare at Goats.
I keep forgetting that was a thing.
Apparently, it's a decent movie. I haven't seen it.
Isn't about the MK13s or whatever, that experiment.
It's about some sort of government experiment, yeah. But mind control, I believe.
Yes. Remember we did a strain based on that way back in the day.
I severed my hand with a skill saw.
Wait, hold on. Oh my God. How have I not?
The state of my mind was a psychotic episode. I should hope so.
It's like fish in a barrel, right? Like this should be the background music.
God. He says, I was killing my career by doing this. If anyone thinks it was for personal edification, that is not the case.
This music. It's notes that came with the story. You must play Def Leppard behind it.
He says of people struggling with mental illness, the power is in your hands to take your medication in the morning or at night, so that this discourse in my life doesn't need to necessarily be yours, because it happens quick. It happens quick. I imagine so. I hate to make light of somebody that suffers from some sort of mental illness. That's like cutting off your own hand. And then, I mean, it doesn't really go into great detail in the story, but like
this started from arm. Now it's just hand. No, this is less badass.
Well, he describes cutting off a hand, and how is it less badass? Like, what are you going to do with your elbow?
I'm imagining him now with a machete going, fuck it! Just lopping his arm off at like the shoulder.
What are you going to do with an elbow with no hand? Well, I guess there is an advantage, though, because if you have to have prosthetic, having a working elbow is good if you want a prosthetic arm. That's not as limiting. But I don't know. Well, first of all, you couldn't just lop your... This isn't a Monty Python sketch. People aren't just lopping off limbs left and right.
Flesh wound.
Certainly no valid form of government. People lobbing scimitars.
Moistened bent.
So no, I don't know. That's pretty. I'm guessing, because it doesn't look like he's missing up above his elbow, that if he lopped off his hand with a skill saw and then cauterized the wound himself, that it probably didn't heal all that healthy, and he probably had a procedure to remove more of his arm in order to save him. But they don't go into that much detail. I can only surmise. Okay, but what's more gruesome? Cutting off your own limb or making your foot, making your foot into tacos to share with your friends?
What?
Because this person who consumed part of their own flesh didn't cut off their own foot. This happened in some sort of accident, a motorcycle crash. So he was in a motorcycle crash. He gets tossed into a forest, smashes his foot up so bad that they can't even reconstruct it, and they have to amputate. And feeling really attached to his foot and thinking, like, this is a part of me. And kind of not liking the idea that his foot would go into, I don't know where, like some compost somewhere. It'd just rot somewhere. He wanted to see it memorialized in some way. So he takes it home. Apparently this is legal, at least in most states. You can, if they remove a body part from you, you still own that body part.
You can go, I'll take this home.
And within certain legal limits, yes, you can do with it as you wish.
So naturally.
So, well, it wasn't the first thought. He took it home, thought about what he wanted to do with it. He decided that he was going to make a plaster cast of it and use it as a doorstep, a doorstop, which I think is great. I think it's
This
great.
guy's got long hair, right?
Look at, he was a biker. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's probably a sword
He's got a little bit of a sick sense of humor. Yeah.
in his house that's for display purposes.
Probably is. Well, so he wanted to throw it in the freezer so he could get a good cast in it and it's not going to rot. And before he did, he took a look at all that nice, meaty thigh. Not thigh, a calf. It was below the knee. Took a look at that juicy
I've never
looking calf.
barfed on a show.
And just decided to shave a little bit off the top, right? Took a nice healthy fillet off his leg and set it aside. No real thoughts at this point, I think, on what to do with it. Then started joking with his friends about, like, hey, we could have a party and we could eat meat. We could cook this up in some fashion and sample it, right? And his friends were game. So they all came over for a dinner
His
party.
friends suck.
One of them was a cook. He whipped up some fajitas. Some fajitas a la biker calf. And
Fuck, man.
And it was all legal, too. It's all legal. And, you know, because the party's woman. Do you want... There's a picture.
No.
You don't want to see the kind of steak? It looks like an uncooked steak.
No, I don't know. I don't want to see pictures of this.
How big were this guy's calves, man? I bet you that's why he was so attached to his foot. It wasn't so much his foot that he was like, no, I'm known for my calves. He says, yeah, before we cast it, I took a knife from my kitchen and cut a chunk off the top of my shin. Skin was already kind of off from all the surgery, having a big chunk of muscle exposed. So I took the muscle and put it in a plastic bag and put it in my freezer. And then, by the way, they cremated the rest of the foot eventually after they took the plaster cast of it. And the recipe is online if you want to try this yourself. Although, I in no way recommend cutting off any of your own body parts to supply this recipe.
So not really feet tacos. They're calf tacos.
Leg tacos?
Leg tacos.
I don't know.
Oh!
What do they call leg of lamb? Like people eat lamb legs, right?
Yeah.
What do they call it? Just leg of lamb?
Like a lamb.
Yeah. So it's
Leg of man.
Leg of man. What did it taste like? People think it tastes like pork because in movies we hear it called long pig. Okay. Yes, I have heard the term long pig. No, I didn't think that meant that people tasted like pork. I thought it meant that we looked like white, like pigs, right? Mm-hmm. That term originated in places like Papua New Guinea where they eat wild boar. They are not eating our big, fat, domesticated pigs that have white meat. Boars don't have white meat. They just don't. Where are you going with this?
Shut up and tell us what it tastes like, buddy.
I remember eating a heritage pig, and it was some of the reddest, most flavorful meat I had ever tasted. It was almost like venison, and I think it's more akin to that. So, long story short, this shouldn't taste like venison. It's venison.
Venison.
That shit is gross.
So what's more disturbing then? Cutting off your own limb or losing a limb and choosing to share it as a meal with your friends? There's a third contender, though, that might trump it.
Oh.
Now this one you kind of have to see. It's kind of hard to describe. Recently, at a construction site in Georgia, while tearing down the walls, out spilled 1,000 human teeth.
What the fuck?
That looks like more than 1,000, doesn't it? Well, I guess they're amongst a lot of rubble.
Is this like a dentist's suppository from back in the day?
So, what would a dentist suppository be?
I don't know.
Like,
I'm just trying to
a
find
place where you deposit
a good reason to have all these teeth.
Is it a tooth fairy office?
Yeah.
I don't think that they know. I mean, let's see. According to this story, they were knocking down a wall and they found 1,000 teeth in there. Wait, how do you get 1,000 teeth though?
I'm saying. It's an old dentist office.
What
was there a tooth fairy and now she's dead?
So a dentist would have access to 1,000 teeth over the course of I don't know how many.
Or is this a sick
years.
fucker that killed someone and took a tooth from every person he killed?
What if you had a really large family? You got to figure how many baby teeth are there in a kid's mouth? Like
what if this person killed a party?
Well, think about it. Every kid loses 22 teeth. How many you get? Well, you'd have to have like 5 kids to get to 100 teeth to throw in the wall.
Yeah.
So that means you'd have to have 50 kids. So this maybe was an orphanage. An orphanage. Maybe it was. So, but why still?
Oh, they keep them.
Why in the wall?
Mm-hmm.
But people do weird shit like that, right? That, like, people will just... Outside of, like, sometimes people will write messages inside of walls.
Georgia.
And, like, stash stuff in there, but, like...
Valdosta, Georgia.
Yeah. I don't know. Searching for 1,000 teeth in Georgia, which it's like a Jeopardy.
Oh my God!
It's like a Jeopardy question. Like, can I? What are 1,000 teeth in Georgia? What is 100 people? What is? Are we listening to Megadeth?
Yes, it's called "The Skin of My Teeth."
Oh, it's kind of building the wall. Yeah, nobody's got any real. It isn't out of the blue. Okay, there's another source on here saying the building housed dentist office used for more than 100 years.
Oh, who said Dennis? Me?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Not hard to do that math. But hey, take credit where you can get it, right?
Right, because if you had to kill like 40 or 50 people to get it, then they'd probably find you out sooner. But who knows?
The first 30 years the building existed, it was a dentist office.
Here's my theory on why, though. Like, that answers the access part. Why in the wall? Because they probably had to pay for biohazard removal. Outside of just maybe they had to pay for trash removal, but if you probably paid specifically for biohazard removal. So the less biohazard removal you had to do, the less you had to pay for it. So why not just chuck most of those teeth in the wall? Or maybe it was just a game. Like they actually had a hole cut out on the wall with like a bullseye around it. They would yank it and toss it from across the room.
Oh my God. What's this
like
website? So I
Kobe.
never click on anything from them ever again.
Oh, I know, right?
All broken. It's taking me like
it gives you
5 minutes to read an article that should take me 30 seconds to read.
It's the worst. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's got all these GIFs in the middle of
everything
shit.
It'll be like a title, a GIF, and then a half a paragraph, and then a title, and then a GIF, and then half a paragraph. Oh, and an ad. So it's like title, GIF, half a paragraph, ad, repeat all the way down. So I guess eating your own foot still wins then, right?
Yeah. The feet tacos win.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I might try a nibble of the guy's foot if offered.
Hey, I cut off my own limb. That's getting you laid by a couple times.
What? Like a pity lay? Or cut it off and then pose as a vet, you're saying. That probably will get you some action.
Like that 129 hours guy. The guy probably got some pussy out of telling that story.
129 hours.
The guy that Franco played, where he had to cut off his own legs or whatever.
Oh, right. He was stuck, the mountain climber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone sucked his dick just for badassery.
Oh, right. I don't know. See, like, I would probably try a nibble of but if
things grossing me out talking about the whole situation.
If I came across 1,000 teeth in a wall that just came spilling out at me, I'd probably have nightmares about that. That's the one that would stick with me.
See, I would just tell myself, hey, this used to be a dentist's office. But it didn't. This used to be a dentist's office. But Chris, it used to be a dentist's office.
Right.
That's what I'm going with, so I can sleep tonight.
You done tearing down that orphanage
for the rest
yet?
of my life.
So we were talking earlier about the court case in Michigan. That wasn't the only important court case when it comes to disputes over marijuana. This one we had talked about. There was a grow operation, a large farm that was in court. It was taken to court over in Denver by its neighbors that were complaining about the smell. The owners of Meadows Legacy Horse Ranch, a quarter of a mile away, claiming noxious odors were too much to handle.
Wait, the Horse Ranch.
Yeah, what?
Is going to knock it off with the smell?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. That's what I was thinking.
We're not self-aware? That's crazy to me. I'd be like, hey, why don't you knock it off with the horse shit? All right? I'd rather walk out, smell my trees, rather than your horse shit.
Yeah.
It's literally horse shit.
Well, they've been in court for 4 years over this. And finally, the owners of the grow house actually won in court. So, let's see. The owner, Parker Walton, saying it was amazing. You know, it was 4 years of pressure that was just immediately lifted off.
The horse farm plays this every morning.
But, like, this is precedence, right? So, hopefully this prevents anyone else from... It's not like marijuana is even a bad smell, right?
And the thing, too, it's a farm next to a farm.
Right.
Like, it's acres next to acres. Like,
Maybe if
does
it
the
was
person who
near a
live on the
school.
horse farm like live right by the border? Like, I don't understand like how it can be that bad. Because also, horse farm.
Well, I think this. It's not a horse. You don't farm horses. It's not a horse farm. It's a ranch.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying they're there. There's a barn smell going on at their property.
Sure. But they're afraid that their customers can smell it. You know.
Whatevs, as the kids said 15 years ago. All right, your customers stopped at the dispensary before they came to your fucking horse ranch, buddy.
I think maybe
People like to get high and ride horses. People like to get high and do a lot of shit.
maybe that's the fear.
They're going to ride my horse intoxicated.
No,
And then
not
I'm going to
that.
have to shoot old Trigger.
No. Yeah. Ride her too hard, break your leg. No, that people will get lured away. Like
Like the sirens in the Odyssey.
Right. Then the grow up could open up their own ranch and say, "Hey, you could just hang out on our ranch."
Our horses are way cooler. They don't want to.
Right.
They don't want to go anywhere. They
Right.
just want to hang out while you watch TV.
They're also like
Our ranch has a Burger King in it.
they're also purple and 3 inches high and have little wings. They fly around like they're your little buddy.
Yeah. There's Wi-Fi at our ranch. Connects you to Grubhub, DoorDash. You know, I gotta say, in the last year, the food delivery game, like, well done, everybody. Well
Yeah?
done.
I think so. I mean,
My dream of phasing out people is becoming such a reality.
especially when you get later on in the night, how many people are out on the roads because they are drunk or stoned and need to get some food or more beer? Or,
I want to get in a time machine, go to myself 20 years ago, like, listen, weed's going to be legal, and they're going to bring you food, whatever you want. You Taco Bell,
Well-
you White Castle.
Here's the thing. Like, I remember my friend Sarah lived in New York for a few years.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, if you live on the coast, they're like, we've been doing this shit forever.
Right. In New York, she's like, you get everything delivered.
Whenever you want.
Yes.
There is
People
maybe-
are bringing me Chinese
There's
food
maybe
and pot and milk and beer.
There is maybe a 2-hour window in New York from like 3
Pills.
to 5 a.m. where you can probably not get food delivered.
But you can still get your Coke.
Yeah.
That's kind of prime time for Coke.
Prime time. Hey guys, what's up? Here you go. Yeah, I'm working till noon. So many choices now. But Detroit needs to get in. Well, I guess the actual city has it. It's got to get out to the suburbs. Postmates. Let's go with the Postmates. Like, come on.
What's the
Like,
deal with Postmates?
The list
What
of
makes-
cities that have Postmates and we don't have Postmates is ridiculous.
What's the difference between Postmates and Grubhub?
Postmates is bring you shit.
Like whatever?
Yes.
Go shopping for you?
Postmates is like go to Walgreens, give me a pack of smokes and 40.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if I want to shop for people.
No, I mean, too, it's more jobs. You know, trust me, I've seen all kinds of people bring me my food. We tried the other day, we did Kroger delivery, which uses Instacart. You've seen all kinds of people from walks of life. It's been a lot of immigrants. But it's probably like, it's probably like Lyft or Uber.
Right.
Where you turn on your app, and as soon as you get a hit, all right, I got to go to Wendy's and get this guy's food and bring it to him. You know, you probably just sit there and wait for hits.
You know, I've kind of joked in the past about Lyft being for black people and Uber being for white people.
Oh, I take the black people ride share? I didn't even know. I just like it because you can tip.
That's recently, the hub is in Detroit, the Lyft hub. There's only one of it for like the whole southeast Detroit area. And they shot out a message that they were going to give away $100 gift cards to people in a little Halloween thing for people who showed up at the hub. And everybody showed up.
You're the only white guy?
I was the only white guy online there, yes.
Damn! So whitey takes Uber and black people take Lyft?
I showed up there and heard from people in line. We were all talking about what we were there for, and somebody came out and was like, it's a raffle. And everyone's like,
It's a raffle.
Because the message makes it sound like you show up, you get $100 credit. I'm like, boy, that's cool. Wow, I can't believe they can do that, but I'm going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, there's one, and it's a raffle, and there was like a line of people. I'm like, forget it.
Yeah, I'm out.
I got to go back to work and make some money. I think
There's a Google office in Detroit. I keep wanting. It's not because I'm unhappy where I work. I keep just wanting to put my resume over there because fuck, it's Google. Here, this is what I do. Like, can I work here? Because Google, like, you know, here's my skill sets. Here's my experience, and I'm like, you got something for me here?
Yeah.
Just because it's Google.
I
always hear about how awesome it is to work for Google.
That's what I mean. All this stuff. That's what a lot of Silicon Valley is based on.
I stare at it every day
TV
at
show.
lunch. Like, just look at the Google sign. Like, it's right there. Like,
You could see it.
I'd have the same commute. I would park in the same parking structure.
So what perks would you take advantage of as a Google employee? What do you have in
I don't
mind that you
fucking
would like
know.
to know? Like whatever?
Whatever they got, dude.
Food. Maybe they have some good parking. Where do you think they park? Do they have good parking for Google?
I don't know. All I know is the company I work for is their landlord, so it's got to be associated with it.
Yeah, but this is Google Detroit.
Yeah.
It might not be as progressive
Oh, boy.
as the legendary Google.
You never know.
You never know. Hey, it's worth a shot. What do you have to lose?
Dude, it's probably filled with assholes from
You know?
the
You
Oakland
should
County
be.
75 corridor.
Right. Most people are just complacent, but really you should be applying for other jobs when you are comfortable in your position, where you don't feel like your job's threatened. You feel like you're progressing, you have opportunities there, but like,
I could have the job I have
see
now.
what
Till
else
I
is out
retire
there.
if I wanted.
right.
I don't want that.
You could coast the rest of it out.
I applied for a new job this week in the company.
Right. You threw your hat in the ring.
I threw my hat in the ring, yes, to move into a different department. But it's basically a position that would be the merging of my two skill sets that I've acquired over my time in the two separate departments. It was a position that would serve both of them well. But anyway,
Oh, nice.
I won't talk too much before you have to edit everything out.
Right. Oh, there is one more thing. We have Canadian legalization, right?
Yes.
We have spreading legalization throughout the U.S. We have a hint, we have a promise actually made by some politicians that there's reform on the horizon. I thought they were going to try and get it out before the election, but maybe they are afraid of riling up their own base too much. But with more Democrats in power, hopefully after this election, we'll see. That could be good news for progress on that. Then we find out that another good chunk of North America, Mexico, their Supreme Court this week found the prohibition on marijuana to be illegal.
Oh,
That's
not even. I mean, it's racist. I don't think
that-
it's be
is that-
funny.
is that not what you were looking for?
No.
Is that La Cucaracha or Mexican hat dance? That was a Mexican hat dance, wasn't
Well, that's
it?
what it said, but I'm looking for the.
So
I'm
you,
looking for the ultra race song.
oh, I get it. It wasn't racist enough.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, but think about what that means. It's one thing to do what Canada and what the U.S. is doing to make legislation to control it and tax it and police it and all this stuff. Mexico is just like, you should have never made this shit illegal in the first place. So that doesn't mean that Mexico then can't have laws that either restrict it, ban it completely.
It's just going.
I mean, they could.
It's saying you can't restrict it.
Well, what they're saying is that
You better figure out how to regulate it.
their current restrictions on it are unconstitutional.
Yeah, you just
right?
saying you better figure out how to regulate it because we're going to
So
not allow you to.
What I'm
not-
saying is, like, they could figure out another way to do so. Just choose to police it anyway, as if it were illegal. You know, that's always an option too. But also, they could choose to then regulate it and tax it, but not ban it. Let's see. The court did not create the ruling did not create an absolute right to use marijuana, and that consumption of certain substances could still be subject to regulation. But the effects caused by marijuana do not justify absolute prohibition on its consumption. There we go.
This is apparently the Mexican hat dance no matter what.
Court-ordered federal health regulators, COFEPRIS, some sort of, what do you call it? It's that time of show where I just start losing words. What do you call it when you have letters that stand for words? And they
Abbreviations?
No, it's not an abbreviation. It's a...
Letters that stands for words. An acronym.
An acronym. Court-ordered federal health regulator, COFEPRIS, to authorize people seeking the right to use marijuana to do so personally, albeit without allowing them to market it or use other narcotics or psychotropic drugs. So now essentially
That's not what I thought.
it's kind of forcing the hand of of Congress. I guess Mexico has a Congress, I would imagine.
Oh my God. Someone better tell Trump they're going to bring in more drugs.
Oh yeah, they're going to legalize it, right?
Oh, we better just legalize it ourselves to combat that.
We're going to share both of our north and south borders with legal cannabis.
We're surrounded. Just do it.
It doesn't even make sense anymore to have it be illegal. So there you go.
The rest of the world's got to be like, man, they're partying in North America.
Even Thailand is thinking about it. If Thailand makes cannabis legal,
You acting like Thailand's uptight.
well, it would be the first Asian nation to do so. All Asian countries have like a very
Thailand's
strict
reputation is they're a
restrictions.
little looser.
Like fucking
regulations
Chinese in
Some of
China,
those other countries over there.
you can get the death penalty
little too
for
loose.
carrying a certain amount of drugs. Mm-hmm. And it's basically an amount that they can prove that you're a dealer. And that just goes for drugs. If you're shipping that much marijuana, that much LSD, or that much cocaine, or that much heroin, like you could get the death penalty for that shit. So Asian countries tend to be really
Thailand is
restrictive on
plain.
that. So Thailand could be the first domino to fall in Asia. And Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, shit. That's going to segue nicely into the strain.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
Because he's known for his winery.
Yeah.
That's it. No. Constellation Brands, I guess, is his company that does the wine. New venture, independent from the Coppola family, anchored in its...
This is weed wine.
Company said its intention is to give life to a progressive vision for pioneering the highest quality, sun-grown cannabis products through sustainable farming.
So this is weed wine.
No, it's going to be cannabis products. Wine and cannabis are two
Oh.
ancient and bounteous
Oh, so
gifts
France-
of Mother Nature,
He's getting in the weed game.
linked by great care, terroir. Sound like Scooby-Doo. Terroir. Terroir.
Terrier?
No.
Terra?
What does that mean?
Terror?
Is this a weed term or a... let's see. The complete natural environment in which a particular wine is produced. Yes, it is a wine thing. Including factors such as soil topography and climate. Pronunciation, terroir.
They're ripping in a tearing?
Terroir. And temperateness. Can we get Orson Welles to read this copy?
Yeah.
Tell somebody to suck his dick?
Oh, French.
Oh, the cannabis.
Oh, the weed.
Wine and cannabis, two ancient and bounteous gifts. Mother Nature, linked by great care, terroir, and temperateness.
Nobody knows what terroir and temperatures are.
Yes. Find me a person who knows what terroir means, and I'll go down on you. Expertise making one's applies to the other. It's makes no sense. Who writes this drivel? As with growing grapes, location matters.
It's going to be an excuse for someone to charge you like $1,000 for an ounce of weed.
All right. They don't even talk to Coppola about it. There's the Humboldt brothers that he's partnering with that are actually cultivating these strains and marketing it.
Like people actually name Humboldt?
Why, what do you mean, Humboldt? That's what they're called, the Humboldt brothers. What does that name mean to you?
It's the name of a county in Northern California where like...
Oh, Humboldt County. I've heard of that. They're talking about California.
That's what I'm saying. Like people actually name Humboldt? Like, god damn. How deep is Francis Ford Coppola's roots going? He's like, hey, we're going to like the inventors of weed with this one.
Oh, let's see. There's a link to follow. Humboldt.
Their Uncle Mendocino.
Humboldt brothers. Ooh, this is a classy website. I have no idea what they do, but
you want to buy it?
Oh no, this is for their weed. Apparently, weed is what they do. Collaboration with the Growers series by Francis Ford Coppola.
There we go.
Yes.
I can already tell by the way you're
Here at Humboldt Brothers, growing soil is what we do. Humboldt Brothers is transparently sourced from our own farms in Humboldt County, one of the best known and venerable growing regions in the world. Our farms are ideally and strategically located in some of the finest cultivation zones inside Humboldt County, where we are creating new environmental farming standards and practices to achieve the best quality products possible. There's a lot of that repeating, though, of Humboldt County.
Ooh, yeah, that's
Humboldt
what I'm saying.
County.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did the Humboldt brothers own a piece of Humboldt County? Or did they
that's
just...
what I'm saying. Is that just the name of the business?
Yeah.
But if it's actually people named Humboldt...
It's
like,
born in
holy
Humboldt
shit.
County, California. I mean, I guess you could do that. You could say Detroit Brothers, right? If you had like a clothing company. I don't know why I would imagine it would be a clothing company. But I'm probably right.
Because it's around here.
It's probably Johnny Denham and Brad Tortoroff. About Humboldt Brothers. Humboldt Brothers is pioneering the highest quality, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they're just naming themselves Humboldt because they are in Humboldt. And they're not even brothers. So
They want to get some street cred. Well, Whitey.
neither are brothers nor are they named Humboldt.
And it's interesting that you brought up this story with Francis Ford Coppola.
Why, what is it that we're smoking? Whatever it is, it makes you do bad impressions.
I know, right?
I'm going to roll a joint you can't refuse.
Pretty much. Man, you just walk right into that. Godfather. OG.
Oh, this is the Godfather. This is the Godfather of all strains.
Yes. It's called Godfather OG. That's all I know. No, I should probably...
This is what we've been
bring up
smoking?
information on it. Yes.
I'm guessing it's a hybrid.
No. It's an indica.
It's an indica? Really? Don't usually do bad impressions on the straight indicas.
Yep, there you go. It's coming up purple. In the Leafly. It's dubbed the Don of all OGs. This strain has quite a name to live up to. A popular medical strain in Southern California, Godfather OG, like many other OG strains, is often recommended for insomnia and pain due to its sedative indica properties. The Don is a result of crossing XXX OG and Alpha OG, and there is a cushy spiciness in its scent coupled with some subtle grape notes. Godfather OG is powerful, with THC levels that have been measured as high as 28%. Oh, shit! This strain is an offer you can't refuse. Godfather OG won first place for Best Indica at the 2013 High Times Cannabis Cup in Los Angeles. It's going to make you sleepy, relaxed, euphoric, tingly, and happy. Medically, it's good for the stress, depression, insomnia, pain, and inflammation. Ooh, I had that in my fingers this week. It's nice. But it gives you the dry mouth, the dry eyes, makes you anxious, dizzy, a little bit paranoid.
I was going to say, I was feeling it as a strong strain. It's pretty evident.
Comes in and shoots up your sobriety.
But I didn't feel the kind of like numbness and really lazy relaxation that I normally get from like straight indicas. still a little peppy.
That's what I was looking for. Apparently, the shticky song is the love theme.
Oh, this is the...
What I was doing.
You wouldn't think it'd be the love theme, would it?
Yeah. I was playing I was playing the Godfather Waltz. Apparently, this is what it needed to be playing.
So next week.
Tune
in next week to find out how Michigan's election did on the proposal.
I did my
proposal
part.
2?
Dropped off my...
What number proposal was it?
1.
On your ballot? Proposal 1. Goddamn right.
We'll see. I mean, yeah, there needs to be a Midwest domino. Why not? Let it be Michigan.
Michigan is America's
I've actually familiarized myself with the absentee voting process to make sure I voted. And I also have a couple other friends. The same thing. They're going to be out of town. They're like, hell yeah, I'm doing an absentee ballot. I'm not missing this.
Michigan is America's fist, and it's already halfway up Canada's ass.
Oh, I mean, and to think of the memes that are going to show up. Wednesday morning, like Michigan, it's going to be holding a joint.
It's totally going to be holding a joint.
Yeah, or
that'll be on the fucking Free Press. It'll be on the front cover. No doubt.
This is a good one, everybody. Instagram's back. I started using it again. So, yeah, you can follow us there at the Weezum Podcast. And I hooked it up to the Twitter, to the Facebook. So our Twitter and Facebook aren't just ways to get the show. Which, it is a way to get the show. Which, if your iTunes isn't working, or maybe you're an Android user, like what, 4 years in, almost 5 years in, Android still didn't have their shit together with the podcast game.
Oh, but there's plenty of apps.
Yeah, but that's the problem. There's plenty of apps. You know, you'll fire up an Android operating system, there isn't a standard podcatcher. That's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking. You know, you can just go right there. That's how you get the shows. You just click on it. Get it from us directly. It's cutting out the middleman, like Michigan's going to do after this election. We brought it back around. And we're at the Weezum 420 on Twitter. The Weezum Podcast, ChristopherMedia.net. Stay high.
Stay high.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook by searching for Christopher Media. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Before you drive the all-new Nissan Rogue, you gotta ask yourself, how rogue are you gonna go? We talking be one with nature in the desert rogue? Go snowshoeing in Alaska rogue? Or take the long way home just because kind of rogue? Just a question, but with 5 available drive modes, you're sure to find the answer.
Go rogue in the all-new, fiercely reimagined 2021 Nissan Rogue, now with the most standard safety features in its class. See Owner's Manual for important safety information. Auto Pacific segmentation. 2021 Nissan Rogue versus latest in market competitors. Base models compared.
Before you drive the all-new Nissan Rogue, you gotta ask yourself, how rogue are you gonna go? We talking be one with nature in the desert rogue? Go snowshoeing in Alaska rogue? Or take the long way home just because kind of rogue? Just a question, but with 5 available drive modes, you're sure to find the answer.
Go rogue in the all-new, fiercely reimagined 2021 Nissan Rogue, now with the most standard safety features in its class. See Owner's Manual for important safety information. Auto Pacific segmentation. 2021 Nissan Rogue versus latest in market competitors. Base models compared.